What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. You already know what's going down today. This is the number one question in all of real estate investing and the multiple millions of categories that are in real estate. How can I start investing with no money down or little to no money? And honestly, it's a lazy question. It's a really lazy question because it doesn't have the creativity that's needed, right? There are a million ways to win in real estate. So I could answer this question very lazy, but I'm not. If I really want to go in depth in this, it would be a 3-hour conversation, but we're not having that today. It's going to be much shorter and to the point. And I will put a course together because I just realized no matter how many times I answered this on this channel, answer individually in consults, people will still go, how can I invest in real estate, no money down? There's got to be a way. I saw it on TV on a late night infomercial. I saw Flip This House show. There's a way, Erica, you holding back. And I promise you, I am not. So the answer to your question is yes and no. Yes, there's a way. Yes and no. Well, here we go. So I got these laid out here. Yes, you can invest in real estate with little no money, but there's a skill set that's there, and there's a time factor, skill and time, and you don't have it. And I'm just saying this just because if you ask this question, that means you pretty much don't already have that skill and you don't already have that time. So just get that out there. One, people who are saying little no money down, what is your situation? Are you working full time? Are you not working? There are 3 components here: credit, money, and time. Write those down. Those are the biggest parts of this whole conversation is credit, money, time. A lot of times you'll meet people with time, but no money, no credit. If you have time, but no money, no credit, you're going to have to work your ass off. Probably for months. And people don't want to hear that because it's just so daggone true. It just is. So here we go. Let's say you say, Erica, and here's technically the steps. A lot of people will go buy a couple programs where they're talking about buying really cheap houses. And there's a million segments. So we're going to start with this one. Cheap houses in the $30,000 to $70,000 range. Very cheap, depending on the city state you live in. Sometimes it's a war zone. Sometimes it's just a rural, quiet area in that 30 grand range. Well, 9 times out of 10, if you're going to do a $30,000 house, some banks will not give you a mortgage. There are banks right now. There's $19,000 houses in certain parts of North Carolina. The bank will be like, no, I'm not giving you a mortgage on it. Just not going to do it. It's not moving ready, or it's not in our standards of what we lend into. What is the usual factor when people buy houses that are like 15 grand to 30 grand? They have cash. Now, did I say they have to have paper cash? They can have credit cards. They can have business lines of credit, but they have money. So many people are like, but Erica, this guy told me I can go get a motivated seller and he signs this contract. Yes, even in the window of yes, you could go put out 100 bandit signs, because let me tell you the truth. Putting out 2 and 3, 4 bandit signs in a weekend, it doesn't work. It's 100 to 200 bandit signs. That's why if you go on Craigslist right now, there are people paying people to go put out 200 to 100 bandit signs, $1 a sign. Why? Because it takes up their time. Keep holding their time. Do you have the money to pay somebody to put out signs because you don't have the time? Right? Okay. 2, yes, you can get something under contract. There are multiple forms we've talked about on this channel. I've talked about on the blog. There are forms that a person can sign and sell you the house on paper. In the next 30 days, you're going to give them the money to close out the deal. Now, in that 30-day window, magic must happen. But here's the key component. Even if you do all that, even if you give them earnest money of like a very low amount, $500 or $100, and you're doing all this running around, you need a Rolodex of people. So let's go number 4. You need time, money, credit, people. Okay. So let's say you say, Eric, I don't have credit and I don't got money, but I got time. Well, you should be on the phone every day, blowing that phone up. 1, getting motivated sellers. 2, talking to motivated buyers. Both of them. You got to be doing both. And many people think I'm just going to hop into real estate and it's going to be easy. No, it is a time consuming endeavor. And many people, what happens is they realize I'm working a 9 to 5 full-time job, and the energy it would take to get one of those low-cost houses or do these deals and these strategies would take a full 9 to 5 of your day. The slick, no money down, quick moving in and out, it would require you to have a Rolodex of 100 people. Now, why do I say 100 people? if you go actually get into a group of real estate investors, actual people doing it every day and night, flipping houses, doing rehabs, doing construction, everybody they know and the next ring of everybody they know is in real estate. And people don't like that. It's not popular. It's not shiny. It's not sexy. But it's literally, here's Tom. Okay, we'll name him Tom. Well, Tom knows 10 plumbers, 10 electricians, 10 appraisers, 10 real estate agents, 10 mortgage lenders, 10 other flippers, 10 other sellers, 10 other whatever. Now, what happens in the course of Tom's year? All those people, or emails all those people at least once. Why? Because sometimes those people will send him deals. Sometimes they'll want to partner up with him. They see that Tom's consistent and want to work with Tom. But Tom just doesn't pluck a property out of nowhere and in 2 weeks turn around and have it already completely renovated, fun, sold, sell sign outside, getting rid of it, you know, because some people are just wholesalers. Some people just grab a property. I don't have the money to work on it or the credit to work on it, so I'm going to go find people. But how do you find people? You've got to dig your well before you needed it. You should have been spending the past 3 months building up a Rolodex. I'm talking about a fat stack of people at any point in time. If you call them today, I pick up the phone right now, I know 4 people who I can sell a house to. That serious. I'm literally that serious. I know 4 people out of all the people I know here in Austin. There's 4 who I'm going, this is the deal. I want a little bit of skin out of the deal, but here's the deal. I'm ready to sign today. Contract assigned to me. I know 4. And that's me being on the outside in. A person in, they need to know at least 25. They need to know at least 25 people that they could call today. If something happens today, they need to call today to get a property moved. Because in the back and forth, that 30-day window you see on Flip This House is just, it happens, but it doesn't happen often. Sometimes people don't sell something for months. They're sitting on it for months. They can't get permits from the city. They can't get things resolved. They can't get the foundation leveled. They can't get the house painted. But that's why those guys have 4 and 5 things going on at one time. Okay, and that's just one deal. Now you got to focus on all these other deals. Do you see what I'm saying? So when people say, oh, I got no money. No, honey, that doesn't work like that. All right, managing it. If you're going to go in these situations with low money and barely any money, that means you're going to be sitting on that house. Not necessarily sitting in the house, but sitting on the house in the fact of like, you're going to have to pick up the phone and call the plumber, pick up the phone and call an appraiser and let them completely appraise it. Figure out what you need to get fixed and now become the contract manager. Like you're the contractor, head dog, representative. People will need something done. They need to be able to call you, pick up the phone anytime. Hey, the city needs you to find out what happened. Hey, there's a leak over here. Hey, the windows need to be done. But what does that require you to do? Sit there and call the guy who can paint. Call the guy who's going to do the sheetrock. Call the guy who's going to do the roof and make sure they get the work done because you're the head honcho. This is your project. This is your deal. Now, can you do it? Sure, but it takes time. And you know what helps that time? Money, credit. So many times people say, well, Erica, I don't want to do business vendor line. I don't want to do Home Depot cards and Lowe's cards and all this stuff. Let me tell you, the people that I wanted to bring on the show today who are like, Erica, I don't even have time to come on your show because I'm busy flipping a house. They literally do their budgets and their P&L off of that Home Depot credit, that vendor, that Lowe's credit of $20,000 and $30,000 when they go send their guys over, hey, go pick up some actual roofing. And they give them the account and they put it on a charge count. Look on the wall next time you go on Lowe's and tell me the 3 different cards. You got a blue, you got a silver, and you got a black. The black, you don't take it anywhere else. They don't got a Visa or MasterCard on it. It's on the books at Lowe's. And there's millions of guys doing that every single day of the week. Millions. Okay? So again, managing it, hands-on, you're going to be there. You're going to be putting your time in. You're going to be calling everybody. You're going to, hey, Frank, what happened to the plumbing today? Frank, I called you. You went to Lowe's. It's on my charge card. I can already see it's up there. Did you go to Lowe's today and get the stuff? Why is the bathroom not done? Because now the towel guy has to come in and do the towel, and then he has to come and do the sink, and he has to resurface the tub, but the toilet's not done, so Frank, I need you to come on in. Do you have time for that? And I'm being 100%. Do you have time for that? Okay. 4, credit. We're in this list somewhere. So many people say, Erica, I don't need credit. I can do these things on cash and I don't need credit. Well, guess what happens? They get a deal, the deal gets cleaned up, it gets nice and shiny, the house doesn't sell when they need to. So now they're stuck. They either have to turn around and rent it out, do a for sale by owner, do a for rent, turn around and do a someone buying it, rent to own, or they have to go get it refinanced to get it out the hard money loan. Actual owner, like let's say you do a seller's contract, like somebody's ready to sell it, it's their grandpa house, they need the money in 30 days, and you've promised them 30 days now, and you done brought in Frank to fix the plumbing and the kitchen and the bathroom. You done put about 15 grand into that house. Now you owe Sally, whoever, the money for this house. It don't sell in the first 30 days. It don't sell in the next 60 days. Now what do you need to do so Sally doesn't take you to court, homie? Because Sally might start having family saying, well, Sally, he didn't pay you. Something shady there, Sally. So now you got to run down to the bank and get you a refinance. Because, of course, the value is better now. The house is move-in ready. But many people don't want to hear that part of the story. They just want to hear, well, Erica, if I get a $40,000 credit card, I could just turn around and buy the house cash. Okay, you may. You could do that. There's 7 ways to get money off a credit card. But if you do that, do you have the money to do repairs? Do you have the money to get going? You know, these are serious questions here. Tough questions today. Skipping steps. Can't skip steps when you got multiple houses going. You can't skip steps. Something will delay you 30 days. Now do you have holding money? Do you have other cash? So again, when we go into the conversation of, Erica, can you just give me the answer? Can I buy money with little or no money down? You've opened up a rabbit hole. Because first I'm asking, do you have people you know? Do you have credit cards? What do you have to go do this deal? Are you going to get stuck in this deal? I mean, I still have my real estate license. And I promise you, when I saw the money being made on the side of the investor, lots of people want to do that. But do they have, I mean, one of the guys that taught my family how to do what they do, he had 20 banks with 20 lines of credit. That's a whole notebook within itself of keeping up with where you can pull draws from. Okay, do you guys have that? Do you have 20 banks that you can call? Hey, oh Bob, I got something wrong here. We got to pull that draw today. Do you have that? If you don't have that, you're not running with the big dogs. Okay. Here's another thing. I have a friend here who I talk about on the channel all the time. His worker that he pays $15 an hour to, $15 an hour, and the guy has to make notes of how many houses he hits, knocked 10,000 doors last year. Let's say that again, 10,000 doors in the city of Austin, mostly Central Texas, but mostly in Austin. Do you have the time to go knock 10,000 doors if you can't afford to pay a guy $15 an hour? Let's be really honest. Let's be real honest. And I'm not talking about driving for dollars. I'm just driving around, Erica. Even when you drive around like that, you need somebody helping you write the numbers, the information down. I had a friend, he took pictures with his cell phone, got home, and all the pictures were shaky and blurry and didn't have the addresses with them and all this other stuff. Listen, folks, it can be easy, but if you look at the guys who are doing it 4 and 5 years in a row, it only got easy because they have systems. It only got easy because they went and got business lines of credit. It only got easy because they partnered with people. And sometimes those people will rip you off. I know multiple stories from multiple people who the first couple times partnering with people, they're like, damn, they ripped me off. Years later, they figured it out. Once they got good, they were like, damn, she walked away with all the damn money. That is a very unique, common story, even when it comes to contractors. Finding contractors that will show up when you say show up and pay them, do not pay them in advance, all kind of stuff. That's why when you see guys like, oh man, I need some money up front. Say no. Say no. I tell my mom all the time, I don't care what he says. He can go to Lowe's if he's a real professional and he can go use his charge card. That's just 100 right there. That's just 100. And that's the truth. And people don't like it. It's not popular. It's not sexy. It's not a late night infomercial. But I'm not here to lie to you guys. I'm just not. Like, I don't get fun. There's no fun in that. I much rather work with you guys and the people that I do work with, and we do have conversations, then we can go work on deals later. Then we can go buy something in North Carolina. Then we can go buy something in Raleigh that's cheap together. Then we can go partner on a deal in South Carolina. Then we could go buy tax liens together. Shit, I got 4 in Florida and I got 1 in South Carolina. Like this is a process. This is a process. And so the more you are, no risk, no pressure, easy, you just want to go by yourself and do it alone, you ain't gonna last, boo. You're not gonna last. Even if you're just a guy doing something by himself, you need workers. Can you afford the workers? If you can't afford the workers, can you go out and do it? I can promise you right now, from owning the painting company, you have to have a consistent person who answers the leads, and you have to have consistent workers. And it has to be two, can't be one. It has to be two different sections and two different people. So man, it's just the way it is, setting up real systems, because the guy or girl who's out there painting houses and then their phone rings and they don't call customers back and they can't answer stuff on time. Yeah, they make money, but they don't get good referrals. I got a friend right now, he's been in business for 7 years. Does amazing work, but does work on his time. He's not on colored people time because he's white, but I call it Southern people time either way. And so people will say, yeah, he does great work, but he takes a long time. Well, he's a single man. He does it himself. He doesn't have a team. He has guys that come on and help him here and there, but overall, he's been owning his own stuff, doing his own thing. And that's a majority of the contractors you meet. They run on their own time schedule. You don't rush them. You don't tell them when to get to your house. And if they show up at 9 o'clock, you better be there to open the door so they can do their work. Like, it's just not as easy as people think it is. And I don't want to offend anybody. I definitely love working with people because, I mean, again, like I said, in October, we're going to be at FidCon, and I expect to meet probably like 20, 30 investors. In July coming up, I think next weekend, I'll be in Dallas at an apartment investing seminar. It's an apartment investing group. I'm already in the group. But the point is, I go because every time I go, I meet even more folk who are like, hey, let's me and you just team up and go buy this single family down the street. Deal. Which I tell you not to do that in a lot of meetings, but it happens all the time. So key there, we talked about them. The skill set you have, if you're asking that question, the skill set's not there yet. And a lot of times I get on phone people and they will pay. They will pay for the skill sets from different mentors and gurus. And it does work. Now let's get it 100%. Like sometimes when people buy into these courses, they say, Erica, they don't work. They do work. I've actually purchased several people's courses. And if you've got the time, baby, you got the magic. But also people have to realize if you're a professional working 9 to 5, you actually love your job is making you work 50 plus hours a week. You ain't got that time like a person who, you know, may have some money in the pocket, may have a job getting ready to let them go and can go all in. You don't have that level time. You just don't. So again, $30,000 to $50,000 houses, sure, you get in that low level. But a lot of people want to get into that $100,000 house, $200,000 house, $300,000, you know, triplex, fourplex, these big units. That's going to take money, boo-boo, and credit. You can't get around the fact that in order to get approved for that mortgage, you're going to have to be pre-qualified. Because a lot of people want to get stuff under contract. Now, what do you need to get stuff under contract? 2 ways. You can go direct to the owner and get the contract filled out. And we have those forms all over the internet. I'm not going to go over top of it, but if I have to, I'll put it in my blog when I read this article. 2, be pre-qualified. If you go around a pre-qualified letter, you can put as many offers all over the freaking city as you want. You can call as many real estate agents as you want and go, hey, I want to put offer in. I want to put offer in. I want to do this. I want to do that. Now, but what happens when you lowball everybody? They know you're not serious. They're like, here he go again. Calling him to lowball me. I ain't got time for this. But if you go further out, you start making those network connections with new agents or agents that work with investors or people who have lists. It's even better. Now, you know, you want to go put out 100 bandit signs? Great. You're going to get a ton of phone calls. But you're going to also get a ton of people who, you know, multiple owners, cloudy title. You're going to get a lot of issues. And I think people, the reason I'm so hype about this topic is I get this question in 100 emails, yo. And I always go, just sit down and do a straight up network. Where are you at? What do you do? How much money you have? What's your credit score look like? What can it look like in 6 months? What can it look like in 3 months? How many banks can we talk to in 6 months to get your foot in the door and get your business bank account and get you business lines of credit? Because it's a process, boo. It's a process, you know? And so if we're really honest, if you're really honest with yourself and you can tell where you are right now as far as funds, if you're a guy or girl with 20, 30,000, go get your property. Go close the door, go knock it. But I'm just telling you, you know, some of these turnkey companies, in a $100,000 property, maybe $130,000 property, you're only putting down 14, 18 grand. But do you have 14 or 18 grand to put down? Property already cleaned up, already done, already there. So it's up to you guys. So I'll take some questions now, but it must stay in the focus of number one question in real estate: how to get invest in little to no money down. You can ask me a little bit more about tax liens, but I'm gonna tell you, go check the course. Any questions you got, go ahead and feel free to put them in there. So we'll look over now what we got going on. Miss Conceited 2008. Do you write the contract or do you find them online? There's actually already typed up contracts. Really great ones. Honestly, you don't have to write them up, and writing them up, they wouldn't be legal. I mean, they could be if you got them notarized, but mostly they're already pre-printed forms. Miss Conceited, do you offer courses on this? Miss Conceited, I think I'm gonna have to, because it's one of the biggest questions I get, and the reason in this journey of me working in the apartment industry and immediately realizing I want to own apartments, and from that journey, I got my real estate license and started my painting company, so I'd have funds to do so. So I'll probably be throwing together some kind of master course, and it's gonna take a minute, but I'll keep you guys abreast. Desiree Jen, hello, you are so correct. I tried it before and had to back out of a deal because I got scared because I could not answer the questions fast enough. What type of question, Desiree? I mean, in all honesty, yeah, if you come to someone's house, motivate a seller and be like, hey, here you go, here's $100, here's this contract, I just need you to sign this contract and show me the title with your name on the title, okay? Because you're assigning the title to me, and in 45 days, I'll have your money. Now, between me and you, how many people you know is like, okay? Nah, usually 9 times out of 10, those houses are in straight distress mode, okay? Like, they're in distress for a reason, or their siblings fighting. So now you're in the middle of siblings fighting and siblings trying to sign the contract and give you the title. So who's on the title? Is it mama that just died? Is it daddy that just died? Is it grandpa? Who's on the title? Now you got to do title searches. Now you got to see if there's any liens on the house. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys and be straightforward, because a lot of times people, it's just not as easy as, how can I get started real estate with no money down, bro? How can I get in there with just $2? So, I mean, it's, dude, Andre, I see you up in here, man. You can join today. I can add you to the group. But what's up? Still looking forward to a proposal. Kenny Tucker, I will have that for you today. Also, I want to give a shout out today to Tiffany Harris, who tax lien course, and she's on the come up and she's loving it. I want to give a shout out to her. She did a great job, and she also hit me up on LinkedIn. I appreciate that. All right. Che, T.O. Is it possible to find out which FICO version a bank uses beforehand? Yes, Che, there are several websites. There's a couple who have credit boards, creditpools.com, depending on your state and your city. You can pull your information from there, bro. Like you can find out what's the scores they like using, what some of the things they work with. I mean, you have different options. It just depends. Any other questions? Let me know. Put them in the comments. Today I'm open to the questions. You know, this is a real estate day. You know, this isn't a Freedom Friday, but this is a real estate day. So if you want to ask the questions, today is the day. Because, you know, I think people think it's, you know, this overnight insta life, and it really isn't. And I wish more people wouldn't lie to you guys. This was really what I hope is more investors, more lenders would go, hey, I would love working with you in the future, but you gotta come correct. You gotta have the credit going. You gotta have this going. And so, you know, it's just a conversation that I don't mind having, but I get the question so much on Quoba and all these other sites, and I'm like, we already talked about this, bro. Like, but in that way, you know, what are some of the things that scares people, right? They don't have money for the down payment and closing costs. Well, why do you think so many of these big construction companies are still open? So many of these other smaller companies are still open. It's from the credit. It's them using business lines of credit to get those things, to close on them. You know, and so that's why when people say, oh, credit, people are using credit. People are thinking of credit as a way of them going on vacation, as a way of them going on trips, as a way of them buying clothes, buying fancy dinners. No. Credit is a magical tool, just like, you know, money is, to do better. So, hold on, I see Malik. How do you juggle so much at the same time? Malik, that's the thing. It's not even that. See, Malik, this is a whole nother segment of conversation. When it comes to the painting company, I work with my friend. So I'm the owner. I pay for the leads. He goes and calls the houses, visits the houses, gets the bids out, then gives it to our workers. That simple. But it took years for me to get in that position, right? It took years for I could be like, I'm in there. I have money for leads, and leads aren't cheap. Sometimes they're $16 leads, or sometimes they're more. But a lot of you, that's why there's a class I'm putting together. I'm almost finished with it. It's called Middleman to Millions Business Edition, where I talk about how I was taught how to have this business. And a lot of people do it. And a lot of people will say, well, Erica, I want to be hands-on. I want to do this. You cannot be a manager and working the business at the same time. Like, you have to figure out where you want to be in the business. And let's say you have the skill. Can you teach other people? Can you teach other people on your staff the skill and then go sit back and be in the office? Because you can't do all. Go find any guys that do construction long-term and tell me, what do they do? 9 times out of 10, they're paying the bills. They're visiting the clients. They're calling the guys, hey, y'all get that done today? But they are not on the site with a hammer unless they are real small time working for themselves. And so there's just levels to this, if that makes sense. And honestly, just time. Like, every time I was at a job and I started feeling like, I can do better than this, I need to figure out how I can go get a pay raise, get a promotion, or go do better. And I remember working in customer service billing apartments, and we tried to convince our apartment owner, hire a full-time painter for $50,000 a year. Man, I'm not doing that. But we had outsourced over $500,000 to the painting company that was painting the whole apartment complex. I mean, we were going through a massive kind of remodel, and we were also a lot of turning. There's a lot of turning in Austin. People have jobs and companies. A lot of times people will move to Austin. Like 57 people move a day, but they don't tell you 57 people move back out. Now, why do they do that? Because they want to go back home. If they're not invested in the city, they're like, bump that, I'm out of here. If they're not into what's going on there, or have friends or family, they go back home. So we had a 700-unit apartment complex that was worth millions of dollars, and the owners, a family, and they were a family. They were literally mom, dad, 2 daughters, and a son, and of course their spouses, because at that point they were married. They're older people. But they didn't want to spend $50 on a painter, so they ended up spending in $500,000 by the time it was all said and done. And they were like, crap. Even a carpet cleaning guy. We had a carpet cleaning contract with a guy, and I'm pretty sure, I think his name was Lewis, but like a Hispanic Lewis. He was Hispanic and black, and he had made over $200,000 off of us. And he never stepped foot in there to clean no carpets. He had people doing it for him. And I think people, Malik, being really honest, if you had and this is just game that I'm gonna put in the course. If you have a $20,000 credit card and you can have a guy that go knock doors and a guy that paints, you rolling. Or got a guy knock doors and a guy that can go do construction, you rolling. There's a whole level to this that's hilarious, because there's a million sites that will give you leads. Really, all I am right now is the person that finances it, make sure employees get paid, and then make sure I have my cut at the end. Just saying. So, all right. Shay 2, BOA lists my score, blah, 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 and 20K in savings. Is crediting a smart bank better option obtaining loans and business credit? Yes, every day of the week. I talk on this channel. The smaller the bank, the quicker you can talk to the vice president or president. Bank, they might have the actual power to go, I can get you $50,000 tomorrow. And I'm not even joking. The funny thing is, people love Wells Fargo. They love Bank of America. It's a big bank. They don't have control. They have to send your paperwork off to the regional person, and then that regional person and their group of people make a decision off numbers. They don't even see you. They don't know who you are. I can go down the street here in Georgetown, Texas, where it was like 10,000 people, now it's 50,000 people, talk to 4 different banks there, talk to the vice president at each bank, even the president, and go, hey man, what's the likelihood of you giving me $15,000 by the end of this week if I provide you all the documents, all my credit reports, and my bank statements, and my IRS tax statements? It'll be a bajillion times different. They might even be like, yo, come in the office. We're going to get you, a line of 10 grand, something small, rolling today. I'm just being honest. And so that's why when people asking about what does the credit score need to be? It's not even just about score, dude. It's about documentation. It's about working capital. It's about saying this is what I have and this is where it's going. and I can get you guys to turn around. Now, I'll tell you this. I had one bank, small bank, I was kind of ignoring it. But I just said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to send deposits of $50 every day. And I think it was, no, 3 times a week for, I think 60 days and see what they say, right? So I did that because they had originally told me no, but I wanted to stick with them because they're small. I think the second month they were like, do you need a loan? Did you need a loan for your company? Did you need equipment loan? Did you need a line of credit? Did you want to fill it out? It's $5,000. It's only $5,000. We can't give you a big line. And that was just off deposits. The consistency of deposits. I don't know how to explain this to y'all, but so many people, they get their paycheck every 2 weeks and then they get all their money at the bank on that Saturday. They got cash at their house or they pay all their bills and then they're done, right? I promise you, many of our Hispanic friends that own little companies, they put cash in the bank every couple of days. And that's the ones that are not sitting at home in a mattress. So anyway, back to the questions. Any other questions? Again, if you guys need more in-depth conversation, you know the deal. Hit the links, hit the consult, because everybody's situation is different. But today we're talking about the number one question in real estate: how to get invested with little or no money down. Yes, it will take a lot of your time. All right. Desiree, is it very hard to find low housing prices? The ones I find need so many repairs that I can't afford to house anymore after you calculate the repairs. I really have to save a lot of money. So Desiree, I don't know what city or state you're in. Put your city or state. Help me out with the question. So you guys, again, you can go on realtor.com, loopnet.com. Loopnet's where everybody throws their trash, by the way. And that's for multifamily, but everything else is really nice. Desiree, give me the city and state you're in. Anyway, but realtor.com and go type in their houses under like 50,000. And then let's say you say, Eric, I don't really see much. Then go 20 miles out. Go change the little tab underneath and put 20 miles out and put in your price and see what happens. There's always deals and there's a lot of off-market stuff. So again, a lot of times there'll be that plumber who his friend is going through something. They want to sell their house, but they don't want to put the sign out front because they don't want everybody knowing their business. I'm not shooting you. This happens often. And so the plumber's like, let me call my friend. He can buy your house cash and you don't have to be embarrassed. But it doesn't happen if you're not invested. It doesn't happen if you're not going to RIA meetings at least once every other week. It doesn't happen if you're not doing a constant contact, right? And a constant contact is seriously a constant contact is it's a form of email marketing, but I say constant contact as in if I email everybody on the 5th of the month, because the 5th, they done paid all their bills, they got struggles, they got stuff going on. But the 5th of the month, you send out a mass email to your 100 people in your group. Hey, just checking. And individual emails, please no group emails. But individual emails saying, hey, how you doing? Any deals in your area? Remember, I'm in real estate to help you. Thanks for your business last month. Whatever, You have to literally do it that way. So, but you have to sit there and do kind of re-ups where you're checking in on them and you're like, hey, touching base. Got any clients? Got anybody you want to refer me? I left somebody I want to refer you to. You have to have that Rolodex of people. And it makes the difference because they're out there. All right. Desiree Jen, hello everyone in Maryland. Okay, Desiree, you're in Maryland. Are you in North Maryland, South Maryland, West Maryland? Where are you in Maryland? Are you in the Bmore? Are you in Arunda Mill where all the nice homes are? Are you near Bethesda? You know what I mean? So like I said, depending on your area, I gave you guys the steps the other day. I would go on Google. I'd Google my city and state. I Google real estate investment groups, real estate investing groups, real estate meetings. Then I would go to those meetings. Then I'd go, anybody know any seminars? Anybody know any apartment investing groups or house buying groups? And then I'd be consistent. Why? Because those people will be like, girl, she's been here every month for the past 6 months. Like, you know what? Let me take you out to dinner. Let's talk. And sometimes you vibe with people way before that. People like doing business with people who have it together. Just saying. If you pay the down payment by cash, can you pay the rest with your own money? Wait a minute. Let's reread that. I have overcome. If you pay the down payment by cash, can you pay the rest with your own money? Do you mean... Because you're going to pay with a cashier's check. if you're coming to a closing. Trust me, they've done that here in San Antonio where Hispanic people will have like 50 grand. They'd be like, no, let's take you to Wells Fargo. We'll take you to Bank of America down there. You got to have a cashier's check, baby. It's dangerous. So you can pay, you can. I mean, you're talking about with a credit card, maybe, is that what you're trying to say? Let me know. If you have a credit card per se, and you get the cash off and you make the down payment closing costs with your credit card, and you want to pay the rest with some other money, you can. You can do you can slice it how you want, but no, you're gonna pay in a title company. So figure that out. Rewrite that sentence a little bit for me. I appreciate it. Desiree Jen, Bowie, Maryland. I think I had some friends who lived there, but they live in Katy, Texas right now. Their family's still over there though. So if I'm thinking right, Bowie had some urban area, like some rural area on the edges. Did I-95 run through there? I might have my areas wrong, but I would drive up from North Carolina to see my mom in the mill because she had brain surgery at Walter Reed or whatever. But anyway, your key there is what is cheap for that area. Because I've talked to you guys about the before. Hagerstown, Maryland, Billwood Properties, you know, they've got $50,000 properties. That's already remodeled. They've got $100,000 triplexes and $130,000 triplexes. So, I mean, it just depends on where you're at. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right. So, Desiree, we got to get, you know, I got some information from you, but what's your number? What is it, 100,000? Is it 75,000? You got to let us know, boo-boo. All right. I have overcome. Erica, I have 2 websites and I need traffic help. Listen, I have overcome. Today we're talking about real estate and everything that goes with real estate. We'll do a traffic class next week. I think I'm doing it next week. We're doing a traffic class next week. And the class is going to be talking about 3 things. Oh gosh, is it going to be on this channel or my other channel? It might be on my other channel, but I'll keep you guys posted. But basically, how to, you know, make $100 a day on the internet, how to get traffic, how to get free traffic, and how to get paid traffic. So we're going to do something where I'm going to put in a course because I think I've got that question enough that I'm going to just put that in a course on growth for leaders. Probably not Build Real Estate Life, but growth for leaders. It will be on there. And those links are always below. All right. G ranks. Okay. Okay. I'm in Gathersburg. What kind of names are these? Desiree. Okay. Malik Campbell. Thank you, Erica. You are smooth as violin. Is that a violin or music? I don't know. But yeah, Malik, it's a process, dude. You know, I tell people if I could get your credit cleaned up and get you a $30,000 credit card, you get laid off tomorrow. Man, and at the end of the month, you could have 5 or 6, 7 grand in your business. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, I'm joking. No, dude, like Home Advisor is one of our best leads. I know guys who run their whole business off Home Advisor. They'll let the leads run really good. They stop them. Then they'll do a bunch of work. And then when they get dry again, they'll do a bunch of leads, run around town doing bids, get us more work. And they're just a one-guy show. But if they were smarter about it, and I'm not being a smart ass, but if they were smart about it, their wives would go, hey, let's get a $20,000 credit card or even just a $5,000 credit card and let the leads run every single day. And let's hire a second dude to run around and do the bids for you. And then you can come over and paint. Just saying. All right. G Ranks, you said Hagerstown have a triplex. Hey, Hagerstown, Billwood Properties, go look over. I mean, I think you have to sign up to see some of their deals they have. Yeah, you have to sign up on their link to see some of their deals. But, you know, they had some triplexes. Now, you're thinking when you think triplex, you're like 3 buildings. Sometimes a triplex can have the 2 in the front and the 1 in the back. So it'll look like a duplex from the outside. You know, keep that in mind. Okay, I have overcome. You fixed the sentence for us. Let's see. Okay, real estate. What I mean, is it a payment with your own money? Can I pay the rest without loan? Paycheck. So that depends. Okay, I'm going to read this question out loud. I have overcome. Okay, real estate. What I mean is if I pay the down payment with your own money, not credit or loans, can I pay the rest without loans and use money from my own paycheck, not loans or credit cards? Now, what you're talking about is a lease option. Does that make sense? What you're talking about is a leased option, or you're talking about getting a mortgage. Okay, because if you're talking about, let's say you want to make payments to the owner. Let's say you call Miss Betty down the street. Miss Betty, well, I want to buy your house since you're moving down the street with your son. And Miss Betty goes, well, you know what? I do want to sell it. And Miss Betty, I don't have a whole $100,000 to pay you right now, Miss Betty. But what I can do, Miss Betty, is I can pay you $500 every month, right? But you can rent Miss Betty's house out for $1,200, preferably $1,200 if you're buying $100,000 house. And as you're making payments to Miss Betty out of your own pocket, that's, some people call that a lease option, some people call that seller financing. People have kind of gotten seller financing a bad name. All they think of seller finance is you ain't got no money, but you're trying to convince me to let you have this house kind of conversation. But there's ways to get tax write-offs for both you and the other person. And I think that's some of the hiccups with seller financing. People are like, but my taxes, I want to write stuff off. Calm it down with the write-offs, people. Like, there's a million ways to get write-offs. But anyway, so you work that deal out with Miss Betty. You guys have that in contract. You get that contract notarized. You get the title where your name is on the title. Miss Betty may say, well, I don't feel comfortable putting your name on the title until you pay 20 grand at least. Right? So, you can work out a deal with Miss Betty where you give her a certain amount and work it out. There's another guy, Chad Carson. I don't know if he still does videos on YouTube. He has a great story. But here's the thing about Chad. Chad is a nice, buff, football playing boy out of South Carolina with blondish brown hair, blue eyes. Chad can go talk to about 20, 30 families and convince them, can they give him owner financing on 30 properties at one time? It depends on what you look like. Depends on how friendly you are. Depends on your demeanor. Can they go find your office? People are comfortable with people that sometimes look like them or very good looking. And I think part of his whole thing is he's been very good looking. There's even a woman I know. She's in California and she does the same deal, but she's very good looking. People trust her. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking doing that strategy by saying you have to be good looking. But what I am saying is, can people feel the vibe off you that they're like, all right, I trust you. Miss Betty will trust you to make payments and you're going to make your payments. It's called creative financing. It's not that difficult, but yes, it's possible. But what I tell people is while you're paying Miss Betty payments, you should be cleaning your credit and you should be going to go get a business line of credit every time you get a chance. From 5, 10 banks at a time if you got to. So that you can get out of that deal faster or you can do some other options, right? Right. All right, let's see. Kenny Tucker, do you have that actual business to get business credit? I'm caught up on starting a business to get in. What do you mean? So what I tell people is LLCs, stop overthinking them. People are overthinking the name. They're like, it has to be a magical name. It doesn't have to be. It literally can be Kenny's Trucks or Kenny's Products LLC. Done. Pay your $125 to North Carolina. I think he's in North Carolina. And get a business bank account. Put $50 in it. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to come up to the hiccup of that may be like, well, Kenny, you just started this business and I don't know what's going on. Do you want to use a personal guarantee? Now, here's another part that we're going to make people get upset about. Here's two. It's the big one. Pay attention, everybody, be ready. Personal guarantee. Yes, there is ways to completely do everything with your business, your EIN number, separate from your personal. Here's the problem. A lot of times we're meeting people in a process of their life where their credit's not great and they have no patience to wait to build business credit. And sometimes I think that's overrated. I know, I said it. Overrated. I think if you can go to the bank tomorrow and get $75,000 in personal loans, and this may not be for everybody. Everybody doesn't feel comfortable with that level of risk, and go buy a $50,000 house, maybe put $7 grand in it, and it rents out for $800 every month. Like, I'd do that deal. Or if I got $70,000 in personal guaranteed loans or whatever, I would probably put that money on a bigger property, something that I can get approved for, but like something like a $200,000, $300,000 triplex, fourplex, whatever. And here's a thing people don't want to talk about is their credit's shitty. And it's not that it's so shitty, it's just they just didn't know, or something has happened, or they had a bankruptcy. But a lot of times people say, well, Erica, they won't give me business lines of credit, but they're sitting there with $50,000 in personal credit cards that they're not even using. You have money. The choice is how you want to use your money. Do you see what I'm saying? And people want a 100% guarantee. That's not always granted. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you wait a minute and you actually pay your taxes on your business, the next year your mailbox will be full. Like when I went and got my office in North Carolina, we paid our taxes on our business. I think the next year I had like 27 offers from different credit card, Visa, this, a fleet card, or this, or that. You'll get the offers, but people don't ever file. Like people will be having like little barbershops or hair salons, and they always trying to write off everything. You know, they're saying they made 100,000 in their business, but wrote it down to 30,000. Okay, well, you know what I mean? How do you think you're going to walk in a bank and get approved for real big high amounts if you write everything off every single year? Now, it's just a strategy. I told you how I talked to CPA the other day. Maybe one year take a hit. Next year you can write off everything you want. But what happens is it builds that like that open door of like, oh, this company's for real. I mean, there's so many, I can go so deep with that I'm not even gonna, I'm gonna stop. Okay, I have overcome. What is the name so I can do more research? Is it leasing or what else? She said something financing. What research? What research? For Google or give me a phone call, do a consult. You know, again, there's this thing when somebody says like they like to research, which I think research is good. But I've told you guys before, like go on biggerpockets.com. Like, don't believe me. Like if you don't believe me or it doesn't sound right or like, I don't know, Erica, go on biggerpockets.com. I want you to sign up for their forum. It's absolutely free. It is a community of people who that's all they do all day and night. Buy real estate, flip real estate, invest in real estate, find creative ways to finance real estate, and go get in your city, get in a group, and get on a team. Now, I told you that the other day. I really meant that. Once you join a group, you'll find one or two people you want to connect with. Even every time I go to the partner investing seminar, I find one or two people I'm like, yeah, I want to connect with them. They know what they're talking about. Yeah, we could probably buy a house together. We could probably buy a single family in Copper Cove together. Probably could do it cash. We both bring our cash half and half. I bring 20, he bring 20. I mean, it's that serious. But you've got to be around movers and shakers to do that. Because if you're trying to convince your mom and your cousin Bobo, hey, y'all, let's go buy this house around the corner. They can be like, we ain't got no money. Now, your mama and Bobo may have $40,000 in credit cards, but they're not going to do that with you because you haven't been consistent. You haven't been displaying real estate investing consistently to them. Right? I have many friends who once they bought 2 or 3 properties, then everybody in the family like, hey, cousin, hey, man, don't you want to talk to me about buying real estate? So it depends. But if you're talking about I overcome seller financing or whatever like that, you can just Google seller financing. It's SELLER. It works, but it works for certain people. And I'm being really honest. Like in order for seller financing to work, you might have to call 300 people. Maybe 10 agree. I really mean that. Like there's another guy I want y'all to look up called Devin Buys Houses. He's in Nashville, Tennessee. He's 24. He convinced his mom, like, hey, mom, I know you just got like $80,000 or something like to that amount. Let's go buy real estate. But what he ended up doing is calling. He has an email print direct to seller list of like 2,000 names or something like that. And it cost, I can't remember if it cost him $2,000 a month or $6,000 a month, but I talk about him all the time on here. It costs, and he mails those letters every month for the past 24 months without fail. Every name on that list stays on the list until you call and say, please take my name off that list. Because you might reach somebody who is in a situation where, boy, this house is stressing me out, but I don't want to leave yet. Oh, mama died, but we don't want to sell mama's house yet. And then a few months go by and they go, you know what are we holding on for? We got to let this go. It happens all the time. Situations happen to people all the time. Crazy things happen. So the paying straight from the pocket instead of loans credit card. What is it called? It's called cash in your pocket. No, what I'm saying is if you want to pay straight, let's say you have, okay, so let's say you go to somebody's seller financing. Seller financing, I have overcome, they're going to want 10 grand. They're going to want a minimum of some skin in the game, right? If you're going to come to them and they have a $100,000 house, they're going to be like, dude, you want to do seller financing? I'm going to need at least 5 to 10 grand from you. And then we can structure how we want to do payments. And yeah, you can pay from your pocket. But you need to, what's your price range? And trust me, the poorer you go, if you go to somebody who owns a house, sorry, I just called you super hot. If you go to somebody's house and it's a $50,000 house and they're poor and they got like a lot of bills, they don't want to do seller financing. Let me tell you why. They want to hear from out your mouth that in 45 days you'll give them money because they're short-term thinkers. because situations and circumstances have gotten to where the point they need to sell this house. They need the money right now. Right now in Houston, Texas, I'll give you this. Anybody who's in Texas, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't see Alvin on here today, but I'll tell you this. Houston, Texas, they have a park near downtown. They are offering those people houses that are going to be worth $300,000. They are offering them $30,000 cash. And people are taking it. Why? Because the house is distressed. They can't do the repairs. They fussing over it with their siblings. And they don't see the value of long-term holding that house for maybe another 18 months and that neighborhood will turn around. It happens. It happens. It happens. So how do you pay things out of pocket? You got to have a relationship with people. You got to have a relationship with people. You got to be in their face. You got to be consistent. You got to say, listen, these payments are going to get made. Let's get this notarized. Let's get a real estate attorney. You know, get your people in your Rolodex. Did anybody have any other questions? Hit me up before I go. But that's the truth. That's the truth. And this is the shortest version of this truth I can give you guys. But my biggest answer is you can go on Bigger Pockets. And for the next 5 months to a year, you can research a particular type of way to do a deal. But the truth comes in action. I can tell you truth all day long, but until you take action, it won't matter. Same thing with the course, the stuff I'm doing next week. Alex Becker and a couple other people, they literally sat down for free and step by step something, but I know people won't do it. I just know they won't do it, even if I give you the free answer. So anyway, everybody, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. I've got to run. But again, if you have more real estate questions or answers, hey, put them below after this video closes out. Hit me for a consult. Or if you want more videos in this kind of conversation, please put the type of video you want in the comments after this closes out. Because sometimes I feel like I'm giving you some of the videos you want and probably not giving you all the type of videos you want. So, hey, I'm open to that. No worries. Everybody, this is Erica. Guys, see you later.